Just listen to this emotional rant. At the center of attention is Hollywood icon Samuel L. Jackson and his public feud with Donald Trump. This isn't just a disagreement, but a personal confrontation full of insults and accusations, exposing a relationship that turned out to be much more complicated than anyone could have imagined. It all started with a game of golf, or so it seems. Jackson didn't mince words, accusing Trump of cheating on the course, which the latter, of course, denies. But Jackson didn't stop there, stating that Trump doesn't know him or his beliefs. It seems this comment struck a nerve, provoking animosity. So, folks, buckle up. The real show is about to begin. It seems someone is trying to hide behind other people's backs, dodging answers, avoiding conversations. Hey, you there, hold your tongues. If someone wants to hear your opinion, you will be silenced in the most radical way, and you will only say what you are told. And that's where the fun begins, folks. Just imagine this political circus. Trump publicly declares that he doesn't know any Jackson. That's just audacity, considering they played golf together and were friendly in Hollywood circles. Is it a memory lapse or a pathetic attempt to save face? But Jackson isn't one to forgive such a thing. He demolished this version, spilling his truth to the public and hinting that there's more to it than meets the eye. This isn't just a celebrity squabble, no. It's a clash of two inflated egos, fueled by years of interaction and seething malice. He played golf with him. I played golf with him. I once played golf with him along with Anthony Anderson. And we all saw him sink the ball into the lake on the Trump National Course in New Jersey. And his caddy later said he found it. How about that twist, folks? The administration is in a panic. The public is shocked. That's the price of public lies. Friends, just imagine this political circus. Samuel L. Jackson lashed out at Donald Trump, tearing apart his self-image. And no, it wasn't a soaking wet caddy, as you might have thought. He just burst out and blurted out, "You've got it all figured out, Mr. Trump? How about that twist?" Jackson didn't mince words when it came to Trump. According to him, Trump had absolutely no understanding of who he really was. And it wasn't just about the acting role or public image. Jackson was talking about something much bigger, his values, principles, and beliefs. He made it clear that Trump's assumptions about him were completely unfounded. But what really infuriated Jackson was Trump's habit of distorting the truth. Their relationship wasn't a casual acquaintance or a fleeting encounter. Jackson insisted that they spent time together, played golf, and moved in the same circles. But Trump acted as if he barely knew him. For Jackson, this was a deliberate distortion of facts, an attempt to dismiss him or evade responsibility. But Jackson wasn't going to let it go at that. The administration seems to be in a panic. Friends, just look at this political circus. He didn't hesitate to vent his indignation at how Trump distorted their relationship, calling it nothing less than a misleading and false representation. For Jackson, this wasn't just a disagreement. It was a mission to restore justice. He craved for people to know the truth about their interactions, no matter how Trump tried to downplay their significance. By speaking out, Jackson wasn't just defending himself. He was challenging Trump's favorite tactic of rewriting history. How about that twist? He thereby added another twist to this feud, which can no longer be ignored. It wasn't just a banal conflict of personalities, but a real battle of narratives, where each defended his version of the truth. One quick question about a little spat that you and Donald Trump got into. I was just wondering, are you surprised that it became a topic in the press? The question sounded, "It became a topic in the press?" "No, it didn't. Tell me it didn't," he exclaimed. "I mean, seriously, of all the problems that the president should be dealing with, he's worried about me saying he cheats at golf, or, that he doesn't really know me. The administration seems to be in a panic. So, folks, here it is. Just imagine this nightmare. Let me see if I can fix it. Let's look for something that could help in this predicament. Oh, what's this? Can this be shown on camera? Is it a bill from Trump National? Looks like it. And after that, he claims he doesn't know anything and doesn't care? Come on, he's forced to say whatever he wants. As they say, it's one of those curious stories. Once he called me to play golf, not with him, but with his friend. And what do you think? This friend turned out to be Bill Clinton himself. How about that twist? But there's more. Samuel L. Jackson dared to say that he plays golf better than Donald Trump himself. For Trump, who prides himself on his golf skills and owns an entire empire of luxury golf clubs, this was like a red flag to a bull. Samuel's daring statement wasn't limited to a simple comparison of skills. He accused Trump of often cheating on the golf course. The administration seems to be in a panic. So, folks, it's an understatement to say that he cheated, but just imagine this political circus. After one of their battles on the golf course, Trump allegedly enrolled Jackson in one of his golf clubs without his consent. How about that twist? Several weeks later, Samuel receives a bill in the mail for membership fees. Trump simply billed him for something Jackson hadn't even agreed to. Most people would probably prefer to hush up this matter, but not Jackson. He didn't pay the bill and made it clear that he wasn't going to play by Trump's rules, either on or off the golf course. This incident only added fuel to their already raging feud. It wasn't just about golf anymore. It became a matter of pride and principle. For Trump, who is known to love control and loyalty, Jackson's refusal to play by his rules must have been like a punch in the gut. And for Jackson, it became a matter of principle to stand up to someone who, according to him, has no idea what I'm about. The consequences of this scandal only widened the gulf between them, paving the way for even more fierce personal attacks in the years that followed. Donald Trump, as is known, is not one to calmly accept criticism, and Samuel L. Jackson's public statements clearly struck a nerve. The administration is in a panic. Friends, just look at the political circus that has unfolded. Donald Trump, true to himself, instantly went on the offensive, like an enraged bull in the arena. First, he declared that he didn't know any Samuel L. Jackson. Yes, imagine that, despite the photos where they play golf together and have mutual friends, Trump brazenly denied any connection. How about that twist? For many, this became a real puzzle. How can you forget such an iconic and recognizable figure as Samuel L. Jackson? But Trump didn't stop at this farce. He lashed out at Jackson's career, accusing him of an excessive number of commercials. According to Trump, Jackson appears in commercials so often that he has become too familiar and, as Trump himself put it, boring. Isn't it ironic that this is said by a person who has been engaged in relentless self-promotion for years? Jackson, of course, wasn't going to put up with this. He turned the situation around 180 degrees, exposing Trump's lies about their missing friendship. The administration is in a panic. After all, it all started with Jackson accusing Trump of cheating at golf in a recent interview. In the latest issue of United Airlines Rap City magazine, Jackson stated that one of Trump's golf clubs wrote off membership fees from him without his knowledge. Well, folks, let's stock up on popcorn and follow the development of this exciting drama. So, folks, just imagine this political circus. After the magazine asked Jackson if he surpasses Donald on the golf course, Jackson reportedly stated, "I'm sure of that because I don't cheat." How about that twist? Mr. Trump responded as expected with a tweet. "I don't know Samuel L. Jackson, have never played golf with him as far as I know, and think he does too many commercials, boring, not a fan." Just brilliant. But even more telling was Jackson's reminder that they were friendly enough to play golf and socialize together. Mutual friends who confirmed their past interactions only added weight to Jackson's words. And Trump's statement that Jackson is boring is especially puzzling, given Jackson's reputation as one of Hollywood's most vibrant and charismatic actors. This is no longer just a disagreement. It's turning into a clash of two public figures, determined to have the last word. For Jackson, it's a matter of protecting his reputation. For Trump, it's a matter of saving face. Samuel L. Jackson didn't just point out Donald Trump's lies. The administration is in a panic. Friends, just imagine, Jackson didn't just snap back. He launched a whole campaign of exposure. He dragged out the dusty skeletons of their past friendship into the light. This isn't a fleeting flirtation between two stars on the red carpet. According to Jackson, they were connected by years of close communication, dozens of golf games, and heartfelt gatherings. This is no longer a story that Trump could brush off like a pesky fly. How about that twist? Jackson brought mutual friends as witnesses, and among them, Anthony Anderson himself, a famous actor who, according to rumors, personally observed their fraternal relationship. Anderson's comments tore apart Trump's version, confirming that they did spend a lot of time together. This isn't just gossip from the yellow press, but a real punch in the gut. It's like looking through a keyhole into a world where Trump and Jackson were once inseparable, without the political storm that has erupted between them now. The most exciting thing about this revelation is the sharp contrast to what we see today. Trump, who swore that he barely knew Jackson, suddenly found himself face to face with irrefutable evidence to the contrary. Jackson's anecdotes about their shared past turned Trump's statements into a pathetic lie. The administration must be in a panic. The political circus continues. Folks, friends, just imagine this political circus. For Samuel L. Jackson, it wasn't just about proving his point, but a real challenge to the established system of lies that he saw in Trump's actions. Denying a past friendship is just an episode in his desire to rewrite history for his own needs. And so, like a spotlight, Jackson illuminated their shared moments, reminding everyone that this feud didn't arise out of nowhere, but is rooted in a real, albeit tangled, history. How about that twist? When Samuel L. Jackson first spoke about Donald Trump, he probably couldn't have imagined how far this conflict would escalate. At first, Jackson even seemed surprised by the depth of their discord. A few barbed remarks about golf and moral qualities instantly escalated into something more, especially after Trump triumphantly ascended to the White House. Suddenly, their personal squabble ceased to be just a Hollywood spat and made headlines. The administration seems to be in a panic, and so, like a bolt from the blue, a quote, President Trump, you just got that look. No, he didn't. That was my regular face. I didn't do anything. That was the look my mother gave me when I said something completely meaningless. Completely meaningless. Yes, folks, Jackson tore apart all of Trump's attempts to evade the answer. Well, folks, as always, glad to welcome you. Just imagine, Trump's rise to the presidential Olympus turned their disagreements into a real political circus. For Jackson, this is no longer just a personal score. Trump's political power and influence meant that his every word, every gesture acquired enormous weight. Jackson, this enfant terrible, wasn't going to remain silent, especially when he felt the need to challenge Trump's actions and behavior in the public arena. How about that twist? It was Trump's presidency that turned their squabble into a spectacular sight, a real media sensation. Every barbed remark, every jab flew out like hotcakes, becoming the main news of the day. The public craved to see the continuation of this extravaganza. No wonder, because the explosive mixture of Jackson's audacity and Trump's love for retaliatory strikes turned their feud into a grand spectacle, attracting the attention of the whole world. But, my friends, behind all this storm of emotions, there was something more than just a clash of two titans. It was a clash of two worlds, two universes. Hollywood and politics, entertainment and power. The administration, I think, was in a panic. Friends, just imagine, with Trump's arrival in the White House, their feud turned into something colossal, into a political circus that could not be ignored. How about that